What's up, kids? Good morning. Hope everybody's well. Landon, you asked a really great question. And partnerships come up a lot for a lot of us. I mean, right? We do our thing. We're experts in our agency that we're building, our coaching program we're building, mastermind program, whatever it is that you're building. You're an expert. You're doing the work for someone or you're teaching them how to do it, right? And then you're trying to grow and you're trying to build and you need more help. And you got a partner out there who you've kind of leaned in on or gotten to know. This is how most of it starts for most of us. You've gotten to know them. They trust you. You trust them. There's a lot of know, like, and trust between the two of you. And you could either figure out a way to finance, particularly in startup mode, you can figure out a way to finance buying or paying for some expensive expert's time like your own to grow your team. Or you can partner with somebody, right? And go at this thing together. And part of you do one thing, part of you do another thing, and you 50-50 the gig. So here's my idea and rule of thumb on partnerships. And I've been in lots of partnerships over the years. Some work, some don't. Okay, first up, partnerships are not bad, all right? There's nothing right or wrong about it. You just got to be careful. It's like marriage, right? Just like a marriage between two people, like falling in love, real human relationship marriage stuff, right? There's dating, there's engagement, maybe there's marriage, and there's all kinds of stuff before or after. That can go really well or really bad, depending on the two people. A lot of it comes down to communication, right? Just like in life and regular marriage, partnerships are kind of a business marriage. So a lot of the success of that partnership is going to depend on your goals being aligned for a lifetime or for the long term, and your ability to communicate and make sure that as you grow together and connect more and more in business, that you're actually communicating about what you want to accomplish and making sure that as your goals and as your life change, like just like in marriage, I've been married for 22 years. The girl over here, Jill, she's awesome. And our lives have changed significantly over the past 22 years. We got married when we were 22. We're now 44. It's a lot of life gone by and a lot of change. So we become adults after being married in a lot of ways, right? So in partnership, it's the same way. You're going to start off a thing and you're going to grow and you're going to build together, but things are going to change. If you can communicate your way through that and have a good structure around that communication, you'll have a great chance of succeeding or knowing how to split apart without ruining the friendships. So number one, obviously some good documents. Get an attorney involved. If you don't have the cash flow to do an attorney right now, just simply write the things out. You and that partner sit down and just bullet point out, here's what we're agreeing to, here's your jobs, here's my jobs, here's how we're splitting and why we're splitting the revenue and the projects, right? That's the basics. Another great thing to add in there is if either of us wants to get out of the partnership, just make sure hey, Pat, good to see you. Make sure that you have some sort of conversation or agreement already in the document that allows you to split and have a mechanism to split. Like, hey, if either of us wants to get out, we have to give the other person 90 days notice or 6 months notice. And then we have to help them find a new partner or a new person to help fill the gap. And if there is a buyout, if the company is actually worth something, you need to address that. How do you make the buyout happen, right? Maybe it's the profit times 3, or maybe it's the X formula for the shares that you own or percentage you own, and it's some, based on some formula you found online that fits your industry or your space. All right, you can ask questions about this. Super nerdy, we can get way into that. But make sure you document that. Also document, what if one of you passes away or gets disabled, death or disability? I know that sounds horrible, but it's real life, right? If you're in a legal partnership with someone and your partner passes away, you are now in a legal partnership with their estate, their spouse, their loved ones, whatever. You want to make sure you have a mechanism that happens, it's over. Just document it. It's worth it. Particularly if your business becomes worth something significant, it's so important. All right. When money starts showing up, partnerships start getting sticky. So make sure you plan for the success and go ahead and document now. All right. Let's just talk about just should you or should you not be in a partnership? All right. To get away from the nuts and bolts of what if you do. I would probably, looking back over, 10 or so partnerships over the years, I would probably not do partnerships if I knew what I know now. Simply because you can share revenue, you can share profit. Partnerships are about control. It's a 50-50 share, 70-30, however you split it. There's control and ownership, right? I have X number of shares or percentage so I can control a conversation. There's profit. I get X percent of the profit. And there's also potentially risk, right? I get X percent of the risk. So you can split those out though. You don't have to say, hey, we're partners now, and so we're going to split everything 50-50. You can say, hey, we're going down this path. It's my business, but if you will partner with me on the projects, I'll pay you X percent of whatever we make out of these projects or this run of clients for the next year or whatever. Let's go at this thing together, both save a little cash early on, and I'll just pay you 50% of this client's work. Cool. Then you're not giving up ownership. You're just sharing revenue. You're going to share revenue either way if you're going into the partnership conversation. But making it where you get to continue owning your business outright, you got the whole thing, not just the majority of it, but like you own it, nobody else is in it, is so much simpler. All right. It is a dating relationship if you want to compare it to the personal relationship. You're not getting married. You're just going out and enjoying life together. You're going to shows together, going on fun trips together. You're doing life together, enjoying a spring day and going for a walk together. That's cool, right? But you're not tangling everything up legally and financially for the long term. And that gets kind of messy if you do that. So my advice would be, if you cannot be partners, but share what's wanted to be shared by you and your potential partner. If that's revenue, if it's the ability to put our faces together on a website and be able to speak together on podcasts and be able to go to conventions together and speak at breakout sessions, whatever together, awesome. Do those things and split the revenue, split the clients, but try your best not to be partners in a legal entity if you can. Pat says, you agree, yeah. Plus, it's a tax benefit. Yep, cool. There's lots of tax and legal implications with partnerships. And honestly, you're going to spend quite a bit more with your CPA and your attorney if you go on the partnership route. So my advice would be stay away from partnerships if you can. Most people kind of early on in their entrepreneurial journey get into partnership conversations all the time. It's part of being new in entrepreneurship. Very few people, once they've been around for 10, 15, 20 years and been down that road a few times, very few of us that have been down that road still talk about partnerships loosely and lightly. We realize, oh, I've been dating long enough to know that you don't bring up marriage on the first date because it's kind of icky for some people, or it's like there's way too much commitment all of a sudden in the air early on. Same with business. Just don't even bring the partnership word up. It's better play. If you're already having the partnership conversation, no worries. I would reframe that conversation and go back to the person and just say, hey, how about we do this? We're in it for the money. You want to share revenue. I want to share revenue with you. That's how we're doing this. Look, let's just keep our legal world separate, our accounting world, our tax world separate. No need to tangle that up. Let's just sign a little agreement here and say, let's start working together. And any clients that we work on together, you get X percent, I get X percent for the next 6 months, 12 months, whatever. And if we like it, we'll keep going. If we don't like it, we can break up, and it's not a big deal, and it keeps it a lot easier. Hope that helps. Great question. It's a common question, and it's a really important one to get right. So there's my thoughts on partnerships. Always love answering your questions, guys. If you're doing a done-for-you agency, or you're taking your expertise and you're teaching others how to do it, having a partner is a great thing sometimes. Just make sure, Samuel, great to see you. Just make sure that you're really intentional and smart about where you want that to go long term. Think ahead, stay as unencumbered from a financial, like let's say tax and legal standpoint as possible, and just keep the relationship strong, communicate, and share the revenue or the profit from certain deals. Stay away from the partnership if you can. Again, partnerships aren't bad. It's just a lot more than most of us need to deal with. Okay, that's it from me today. Y'all have an awesome day. Enjoy it. Get out there, hustle, do the work, get the results. Don't overwork. Don't work all weekend. I'm just saying, do the right work. Be intentional. Take the time off. Get your life back. Run that awesome business you got going. All right, kids. Talk soon.